Hi there, everybody, and welcome to our weekly show. We call it Three Broke Guys Handicapping. It's where we review one of the top racing cards from around the United States. We will select a four-race sequence from that track and attempt to come to a consensus on a pick four ticket. Thank you for joining us. Week number 23 of the 2018 racing season. We still got one more week to go to find out if we see Triple Crown winner number 13. So until then, Penn National Racing in Grantville, Pennsylvania has a stakes-packed card for Saturday. It's the Penn Mile card. The pick four starts in race number 6. It ends in race number 9. All stakes in the pick four on Saturday. My name is Rich Sharp, and each week I'll be joined by my friends and racing analysts. Folks, our East Coast handicapper, he comes to us live from his home in Staten Island, New York. Ray Torado, if my mapping instructions are correct, you could be in Grantville, Pennsylvania in just under 3 hours. How you doing, bud?
Good. I've gone a few times, and I've gone also a few times in Hershey Park. So it's a nice little track. You're in the country, get the mountains around you. And I like to go back again. Unfortunately, I can't go tomorrow, but maybe another day.
Nice. All right. And up next, it's our West Coast handicapper, and he is coming to us from his home. It's in Temecula, California, where if I told Joe English that there is a rather large, luxurious casino in Grantville, Pennsylvania, well, he'd probably beat Ray to the track.
There is.
No, I got a casino about maybe 2 minutes from 10 minutes from my house, about 2 miles. How are you guys doing tonight?
Yeah, doing pretty good, Joe. How about yourself?
No complaints. It's Friday and we're doing the show, so all is well.
All right. Well, in fact, speaking of complaints, last week was Santa Anita Racecourse out here in California. And I'm as sad as anyone that my home track is the end of our modest 2-week win streak. In fact, we only managed 2 out of 4 on the group ticket last week. Kind of shameful. I will let you guys know, for those of you who follow along at home and let that, Joe English actually did have the winning ticket, or he had the winning sequence in his combination on Saturday of last week. So, all right, time for a quick weather update from Grantville, Pennsylvania. Thunderstorms are likely. Potential for heavy rainfall. High of 79 degrees. There are winds about 5 to 10 miles an hour. The chance of rain, 80%. Back to the rain again. Ooh. A total of 11 races, 7 stakes on tap for Saturday. For today, we are focused on the pick four. It begins in race number 6. It concludes in race number 9. Gentlemen, the gates are locked and loaded. The outriders are clear, and the starter's ready to pop the gate. It's pick four post time.
Let's go.
It's night. Bring it.
Race 6, approximate post time is 6:10 p.m. Eastern time, guaranteed pick four. You know what? Again, I don't have the guarantee in the pick four, but I am sure they have something there for the Hollywood Racing Casino. They are going 5 furlongs on the turf. It is the Penn Ladies Dash. The purse is $100,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward. 11 starters, and your morning line favorite starts from post number 6. Morticia, trained by George Arnold and ridden by Jose Lascano, is 5-2. On the Penn National Morning Line. Let's see. The Penn Governor's Cup and the Penn Ladies Dash are both match series races. Match. That stands for Mid-Atlantic Thoroughbred Championship, which returned May 18th and 19th at Pimlico Racecourse. The 25-race series offers $2.9 million in purses, with $490,000 in additional bonuses for owners, trainers, breeders, and certifiers. I don't even know what a certifier is. The Maryland Horse Breeders Association also is offering bonuses tied to match standings. And in fact, there are 2 Maryland breds in the Penn Ladies Dash. Joe, who you're batting leadoff for us tonight, who do you like in the Ladies Dash?
Rich, I know it's a 12 horse field. And I see our old friend Booze is in the race from last week. Who actually was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Who actually got
last week? Yeah.
No, it would have been 2 weeks ago because I didn't think Booze was running at Santa Anita. Okay. But basically, I narrowed this race down to 2 horses, and I'm going to take a little bit of a risk, and I'm going to take the second choice. I'm going to single the 8, Just Talking, only because Jason Service is obviously having a fantastic run of late. It's funny because I downloaded the PPs for Belmont's card tomorrow, And at the current Belmont meet, he's 6 for 11 or some ridiculous 50 some odd percent. And I mean, the formulator stats are about normal for him. It's really funny. He's 13 for 43 with turf sprinters returning between 61 and 75 days. But that's really not much different than his normal percentages. 28. It's around 1 out of 3. So that, again, that's close to the 20% that he has normally. And most of the horses that we're talking about were 7-2 or less. And based on this field, I think that Morticia will probably go favorite at lower than the 5-2 morning line. And I think Just Talking will be the second choice, and they'll probably be lower than 7-2. She'll be lower than 7-2, excuse me. And I'm also going to take her because of a little bit more of the freshness angle. The 6, Morticia obviously belongs here, but she's run 3 times this year. And again, I'm not saying anything's going to take anything out of her, but I just like I'm going to take the fresh horse at a little bit longer price. And if I had to choose between the 2 jockeys, Jose Lezcano, again, nothing wrong with Jose Lezcano, but I'll take Irad Ortiz as well. Because obviously he's leaving Belmont to come down to, again, it's a stakes packed cards, but he's not just going to ride anything. So I know it looks like there's a lot of speed in the race. Just Talking can either sit off the lead or it can be on the lead if things break right. But whatever happens, I think Irad is going to work out a trip on this horse. And again, I'm going to be bold and step out on a little bit of a limb and take the single in this leg with the 8 Just Talking. Again, I like the freshness, and Jason Service is just great with 5 furlong sprinters. And again, he's just having a fantastic run. So I'll take the 8. I'll stand alone with Just Talking in the Penn Ladies Dash. And I will go, obviously you'll hear I will go deeper in later legs. So I had to narrow somewhere. So this is where I decided to do it. So the 8 Just Talking for me in the Penn Ladies Dash, Ray.
Yeah, I'm in your camp, Joe. I like the 8 Just Talking. These horses better be on the engine early and very important to get a good break. So I think I'll get a good break from post 8. He's just been basing better at Gulfstream Park with better. He's versatile. I think he go to the lead. He could stalk. Like you say, Ortiz. He's there. He's gonna be riding in these races. And, he did give up Belmont to come here, so he's here for a reason. Jason Service, Michael Dubb. They're high percentage of connections. Usually win the meets and a lot of stake races. I like the race on March 10th. He was able to close in that blistering pace. So, he did win his next race on the lead in a lesser field. But so that just shows how versatile he is and how, he can either go from either way. So he'll be in the race, definitely. And, they're 45%, the last 11 starts. I ride Ortiz in Service. So, he's on my top line, Just Talking. I just want to throw in also Morticia. She did win the British Cup winner last year, Keeneland 6 for 8. And he gets Lezcano back, so he's a better fit for her. My top 2 just look better than these, so he can go either way. But yeah, I'd rather go Just Talking, a little bit of price. And I just want to throw in also number 4, A Sail. It might look like the return to grass and a short distance. Might help this horse, Kendrick Carmouche. Come to the right here. He'll be sending her. And, she'll go as long as she can. And, moving up in class, 3 BG angle. And, she's 2 for 2 this year. So 8-1. I throw in there also for no price. Maybe to start this pick 4, but I do like the mate, Just Talking. So I'll go 8-6-4. Rich?
Yeah, nothing different with what you've heard so far. I've got it a little bit flipped over. I've got the 6 and the 8. So I did like Morticia as the top racehorse here. George Arnold and Jose is kind of not exactly a magic combination. They're over 3 so far this year. Morticia goes everywhere, wins everywhere. If you look there at the last thing, the horse actually never shows up at the same track 2 times in a row. It seems like George Weaver just ships her in to each track, and at each track she usually wins. And if she doesn't win, look at the horses that are ahead of her. You're seeing names like Triple Chelsea and Blue Bahia, Lull. So some of the better turf sprinters in that division. 4-year-old. Again, Arnold and Weaver. So I was sold on this horse. I know it's the favorite, folks. I'm sorry about that. So I've got the 6 as my top horse. But for all the reasons that you already heard, I was not about to stop just talking. I love Irad Ortiz, Jason Service, and Joe giving us that statistic on Jason Service as far as him kind of owning Belmont so far here in the early going. This horse was very successful at Gulfstream Park earlier here in the winter in the championship meet. So it has a little bit of a freshening in 90 or 46 to 90 days away, 27% for Jason Service, and again combining with Irad Ortiz today. So I just went 6-8. I really just saw it as a 2-horse field. I do have the 6 as my top horse. Ray has it as 8-6-4, and I think Joe just has it with the 8. And I'm going to go ahead and come on back to you. For anybody who wonders, I'm wearing the. This is in honor of Gun Violence Awareness Day. So orange was their color today, so I wore that for the all the folks at Parkland High School, and I apologize, but I forgot the high school in Texas as well. All right, let's move along here, and we are looking at
Santa Fe, Rich.
Santa Fe High School. Thank you, Joe.
No problem.
And we are looking at race number 7, and they are going 1 mile on the turf here. It is the Penn Oaks. Purse is $200,000 for fillies, 3-year-olds only. 6 starters, actually 7 horses, and the morning line favorite is in post number 1. Classy Dancer, trained by Jason Service and ridden by Kendrick Carmouche, and The Way I Am, trained by Graham Motion and ridden by Irad Ortiz. They are both 2-1 on the Penn National morning line. They are the combined entry. Let's see. Penn National, the track opened on August 30th, 1972. It consists of a 1-mile dirt course and a 7-furlong turf course. It is unusual among United States thoroughbred racetracks in offering racing 52 weeks a year. It's like the Three Broke Guys track, for God's sakes. Hollywood Casino opened at Penn National on February 12th, 2008. And all right, Joe, you're up on the Classy Ladies in Pennsylvania. Who do you like in the Oaks?
Oh, why don't we let Ray go? Because
I apologize.
I opened the last one. That's fine. No worries.
Okay.
All good.
You got it. All right. Now this race is pretty considered. We got a short field, and got a few horses here. I like the entry, but I like number 4, Raucous. Raucous. Let's see how they pronounce it in the track. This horse is a twice winner last year at about a mile. He was 2 for 5 with a second, a third, two thirds. His comeback race this year wasn't too bad. Sprinting in Aqueduct. He was running late. As you can see, he was 9 wide. So let's kind of ride. Come on, the 20% shipper. I'm gonna take a chance here. He's 5-1. A good price for me. I think he'll improve. These horses, 3-year-old fillies. What I look for is a little upside, and I see some upside this horse. Just coming back from last year, she ran a few distance races, and she won 2 in a row. The Chelsea Flower, a good stake race. She broke a maiden. She went out to California for the Jimmy Durante, which was a good race. Actually, we were there that day, right? We were there at Breeders' Cup, and she ran decent. She had the lead top of the stretch. So coming back this year, first race, give her a little pass here. So I think should be a little cranked up now, and I like the price of 5-1. I do like the 1A of the entry, The Way I Am. She's 2-1. She has been blossoming at Gulfstream. This year, she's 3 for 4 with a second, and she just the classic field. Michael Dubb got a piece of this horse, and I just think Ira Ortiz jumps on, but she's gonna need a pace, and there's enough speed here. She should get up, so she's gonna be tough here too. Also, I do also like number 6. Good Things Take Time. One of the second choices here. She got 2 solid races, and they just gets better. and I think she said outside trip. She'll get a good view of what's happening. Rosario, and I like that comment that tipped out. I like that one.
I thought it said
What's that
tapped
sound
out.
like?
To be honest with you,
Help me.
Help me. Wait. This is her Meadowlands tipped out. You know, like 3 wide from the pocket. I like that. I think a mile would be her distance, and yeah, she was sprinting out in the island, and she came here and they run her for a mile, and she went pretty good. I mean, the 2 races this year have been very good, and she's gonna be tough here too. So those are my horses there. The 4, the 1A, and the 1, of course, and the 6. So don't go 3 deep here, Joe. Tipped out.
What does that mean?
What it means is she was. I'm assuming, and I'd have to watch the race to be completely.
Yeah.
I'm thinking she was in behind horses and she tipped out in order to get around them. That's the only thing I can think. I've never seen that comment before in thoroughbred race, but
she tipped out against 2 good horses, right? Rushing Falls
and that's the funny part. I mean, I mean, it's funny. You're going to hear a lot of Jason Service in this, but in this case, it's the Jason Service only trains half of the entry. The other half of the entry is the better horse. Well, the way I am is better. Yeah. So unfortunately, again, she's the short price. She's the top choice in here, 5 from 9 lifetime, and she's been chasing. She chased Rushing Fall last time, and obviously Rushing Fall was and is one of the young female stars in the Chad Brown barn.
Absolutely.
So, she's graded stakes winner, graded stakes place in a grade 2. I just think she's better than everybody in this field. I'm like Rich, and it's funny because I'm looking at treasuring and I'm like, yeah, but it's that California form heading east, and it's like, yeah, we always downgrade. I shouldn't say denigrate, downgrade the California horses coming east. To me, the way I am is just the best horse. Grand Motion is good with layoff horses. He always takes them to Fair Hill, trains them there. They just show up and basically, especially on turf, they run. So I'm not going to try and do anything unique here. The 1 is a top choice, but I'm going to use another horse, and it's a horse that Ray didn't mention, and that's the 2. Got Stormy. Again, she was another who chased Rushing Fall last time out at Churchill Downs. In the grade 3 Edgewood, and again she's finished second. She finished third at Gulfstream Park in a non-graded stake. She finished 4th, and again not really beaten a little bit more than a length by Rushing Fall last time out. Tyler Gaffleone comes up for the ride. Mark Cassie's really consistent. It's funny if you look into formulator stats for Cassie, he's about 16 or 17% with a 1.7 something ROI. In just about every category. So the one thing I know is that his horses run pretty well most of the time, and it seems to me that this horse seems to be getting better. The speed figures, the buyer speed figures have improved every time out, and actually it's funny because she's got the highest buyer speed figure of any horse that ran last time out. So obviously that race in the Edgewood was well regarded. On Derby weekend. So I'm going to take the 2 as a possible upsetter. She's going to need to get a trip. I think there's enough pace in here. I think Classy Dancer and Treasuring are going to be on the lead. So I think maybe Got Stormy is the one who will quote unquote tip out this time and trip out and get a trip. But I mean, she's going to have to contend with the way I am, obviously. But again, because of her speed figures are getting better, Cassie's obviously solid as a trainer. Tyler Gaffleone comes for the ride. He's been on it the last 3 times, and I'll take the 6-1 on her, as well as having the favorite. So I would be on the 1A and the 2 in the Penn Oaks in race 7 on Saturday.
Yeah, I really wish I had something sophisticated or snazzy here that I could just grab everybody's attention with. This is my single here. So the way I am, a classy French filly who came over from overseas, and came over here to the barn of Grand Motion. and initially got sent to Keeneland. One of the things you'll hear me, I make this knock, so I try not to be a hypocrite and things like that. The horse did not do real well there at Del Mar, and so I chose the forgiveness angle in that one. And of course, when the horse came back from Del Mar in California, where it did not do well on the turf, has just been a beast ever since. Came back from California, won 3 in a row, all at Gulfstream Park, where the turf racing is very, very good during the wintertime. And the only horse, as you heard Joe already mention, to stop this 3-horse winning streak, you need a damn rushing fall to do it. Who just happens to be the best horse in that particular division on the turf. So I don't see any rushing falls in here. So I did single. I did hear some pretty darn good analysis here in my first 2 guys. So before my ticket goes out tomorrow, there's a genuine chance that I'll be adding either the 2 or the 4 to this race. But I did like the 2 a lot there in that analysis show. But I've just got the 1. I've just got the way I am. I think the bonus there is Classy Dancers that you get for free, which is Service Barn. But it is nice that you get 1 from the front, 1 from the back, just by taking one particular selection. But I really am on the 1A here, if you like. Sounds like Ray is on 416, and Joe is on 12. And I'm coming on back to you guys. All right. And we are moving along, and this is on to, and let's see here. I've got race number 8, and this is 5 furlongs on the turf. It's the Pennsylvania Governor's Cup purse. Excuse me, the Cup Stakes. The purse is $200,000 for 3-year-olds and upward. 12 starters, and your morning line favorite at 2-1 is in post number 12. Pure Sensation, trained by Christopher Clement and ridden by Irad Ortiz. You know, it's the 48th running of this, and I don't know if folks can tell yet, but I just was not able to locate a lot of history to share with you on these races or on this track for that matter. I honestly tried. To our own governor of Staten Island, though, Ray, who do you like in the Pennsylvania Governor's Cup Stakes?
Yeah, this is a big field of 12 horses.
Yeah, here we go.
And I felt a little bit, I mean, I didn't know. Kilo Machina will put back right now. I felt a little guilty not only going too deep here, but I just think that the 2 horses I like are just better than any of these. Pure Sensation, number 12, favorite. She's just better than these. I gotta admit. She wins here on class alone. You know, she's her second race of this year, and he's 7 years old. So at this time, what they're trying to do, I guess, pick and choose the races to get the best out of him. And this is one of them. It's a good purse, and this one is $200,000 for 25 furlongs. You're not gonna get that. You get that only a few times this year. So this is the spot, and they're looking, of course, down the road. You got the Breeders' Cup and everything like that. But this horse is he's really good. And first race, he ran decent. They protected him in the optional claiming race. None was, and he won second. That 2-5, I know bettors were really pissed off. 2-5, they got beat. But the trainers have a reason for they got to stretch the legs of these horses, and but this is the goal. One of the goals of the year. So he's gonna be cranked up. Clement, I write it to you here, which is favorite jockey, and so I'm not singling because I'm looking for. I'm hopefully things go well. I also have another horse on my ticket too. So I get number 3, Oak Bluffs. Again, there's going to be good pace in this race. 5 furlongs, they'll be flying. It's a long straightaway, so it's like Los Alamitos there. 5 furlongs, they just go straight and then make that turn around the 3 furlong mark and coming home. But so a lot of horses be gunning. But this horse can come off the pace. Paco Lopez, he rides a lot of these in Monmouth, usually on the turf, so he's pretty experienced in these races, and I like to see him aboard here. And I think this horse will improve for the first race off the layoff from Pimlico, the turf sprint over there. Ran third, not too bad. You got beat Rocky. He's a good horse, so we've got that horse before. Mary Epler, she has a small stable, but her percentages are pretty good, 20%. And she, whenever she puts a horse out there, they're meant to win, try and win and do their best. He's 15 for 41 lifetime, so he knows how to get his winner circle. So at 5-1, I take a chance with him too. So I'm just gonna go too deep here. 12-3 for me. Joe?
I am supremely disappointed in you, sir.
Ooh.
Okay. Rich, can you do me a favor and just scroll down to number 10 horse, please?
I'm looking. Hang on.
Scroll to the 10 horse. Just you don't even.
I know Race Warrior. I know.
Not take Ray's War. Didn't I just talk about Jason Service for like the last 2 races?
I know.
He does in 5 furlong sprints. I mean, and the horse is named Ray's Warrior. I mean, come on,
okay,
Ray.
I'll put him in.
What is up with you?
I'll put him in. It's late. I missed him. I started late tonight. No. I'm gonna be honest. I was doing my notes, and I did. This just says I did races 6, 7, and 9. I said, wait a minute, what's 8? And I rushed 8. And I did 8, but I didn't put notes on it. And I rushed to do race 8, but I got 12-3. So I had a 10.
I'm having flashbacks to the day that we thought the pick 4 was races 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
7, 8, 9, 10, or whatever it was. I can't. Anyway, it's funny. I think there is some pace in this race, but again, I'm going with the Jason Service angle. The horse ran well last time at Gulfstream Park. Again, 5 furlongs, 3 broke guys angle coming from an optional claimer into a spot like this worth $200K. And again, it seems as if Jason Service is emptying his barn this weekend at Penn National. And obviously these stakes are worth a lot of money. Obviously it's not graded, but 200,000 is 200,000. And you get 60%, that's 120. And I'll take the 10-1 odds. I'm not thrilled with Joel Rosario as a 5 furlong sprint specialist. Sort of like the same thing I said about Julian Leperoux quarter horsing out of a horse out of the gate last week on the show from the rail. I'm not as overwhelmed as with Rosario at this distance per se. But again, I'm playing the Jason Service card here. Obviously, I'm playing it a lot. And I'm going to take the 10-1, and I hope the horse can. Obviously, that first quarter last time out in 21.05 is pretty quick early. If he can somehow get clear in a 12-horse field, the closers always have a challenge trying to navigate through a field like that. So I'd rather have a horse on the front end necessarily than somebody coming from the back. It's funny, my second choice was the 3, Oak Bluffs, but then I was also looking through the PPs while Ray was talking, and I looked at the last race was on soft turf, and if you look through the PPs, I mean my PPs with Formulator, mine go back. I think I have 15 or 16 lines, and it seems as if the horse's worst races always come when the turf is either soft or yielding. And if Rich's weather forecast holds true, and it's 80% chance of rain and possible heavy rain, I would be more inclined to say, let's hold off on Oak Bluffs and let's let him prove it under those really adverse conditions, because at least to this point I haven't seen it yet. And as an 8-year-old gelding, I'm not sure it's going to get any better. Again, he was going to be my second choice, but now I have to change it to the 12. I'm not thrilled with the post for pure sensation. And that last race, like Ray was saying, the horse was 2-5. Don't know how. Obviously, the horse I shouldn't say obviously. I don't really know. I'm guessing the horse wasn't really cranked up. If you go back 2 years ago, this horse would be 1-5 in this spot. 12-horse field, 12 post. It wouldn't make any difference. Yeah. But I just don't know if this horse is the same horse, because again, even that last race, that this horse would, a couple of years ago, he would have throttled that field at 1-5, or 1-9, whatever the price would have been. So I'm the post and the fact that the horse didn't run as well in the last time, there's just something that doesn't feel right about taking a short price on a horse like that. But he's going to be my second choice only because the fact that Oak Bluffs doesn't necessarily look like he does as well on bog-like surfaces or yielding and soft courses has me, pausing a little bit. So I guess my new top 3 would be 10, 12, 3 in that order. But again, if I was going to be picky about it, I would probably leave the 3 off. Again, the weather forecast could be altogether wrong. If the turf course comes up as good, I would definitely put the 3 back as my second choice.
Yeah.
But at least based on the weather forecast now, I'm going to go 10, 12, 3 in that order in the Pennsylvania Governor's Cup in race 8 at Penn National on Saturday, Rich.
The only one that I'm going to add that the folks haven't heard about so far. So on my ticket, I took what I consider to be the 2 logical. So I've got the 3 and the 12. I've got Oak Bluffs, and as you might have already seen it, the check mark is actually up a little bit higher. So I've got the check mark is on Oak Bluffs. That's Mary Epler and Paco Lopez. Strangely enough, taking Paco Lopez on a horse that doesn't look like he's actually a need the lead type, an early lead type. So he's gonna have to go a little bit against the grain as far as Paco Lopez is concerned. But I do have my check mark on the 3 Oak Bluffs. But the only other horse I'll add to that is Alan Goldberg and Tyler Gaffleon, kind of playing my Gulfstream connections, I guess, so to speak. It says the horse is a speed type, as you see there. The horse, I think, is a little bit more of a versatile type. I don't think he necessarily needs the lead. I think he can sit and stalk a little bit at this bit of a distance. And as you see here, he had a 5.5 yielding course to deal with at Laurel Park. That was an 8-horse field, very similar to the field he's going to be facing today. And he was able to come from off the pace with some heat, as you see here. The pace was pretty hot in that allowance race that was at Laurel. Obviously, stepping up in class, taking a little bit of a notch up. But I thought that this horse at 10-1, Tyler Gaffleon, Alan Goldberg, solid connections, has seen the back end of Pure Sensation a few times. But I thought today might be an opportunity for him to go ahead and turn the tables on him. So I have 3, 12, and I also threw the 6 in there. I think Ray has just got the 3 and the 12. I believe Joe has the 3, the 12, but his top pick is actually the 10, Ray's Warrior. All right. And let me go ahead and come on back, and we'll head on to the finale. All right. Race number 9, and this is the finale. This is the feature. Going 1 mile on the turf. It's the Penn Mile. The Penn Mile Stakes. It's a grade 2. Purse is $500,000 for 3-year-olds only. 8 starters, and your morning line favorite starts from post number 3. It's Murad, trained by Todd Pletcher, ridden by John Velasquez, 5-2 on the Penn National morning line. With the influx of additional funds from the Penn National Racecourse turning itself into, and Joe, Ray, you guys can love this, a racino. The club ventured in add higher stakes races. The race was inaugurated in 2013 with a stakes purse of $500,000. The event was classified as a grade 3, and in 2017 it was upgraded to a grade 2. So Joe, last week you had the maidens, California. This week it's the stakes races in Penn. What do you like in the feature?
This really is a difficult race. I'll give them credit. It's an 8-horse field, but it's not without talent, and it's not without possibilities and young horses getting better. The horse I ended up on as my top choice is the 6, Hawkish. Just thinking, I went back and watched the Palm Beach. I was like, okay, maybe it just wasn't his day. He came back to run at Aqueduct and he obviously ran really well that day. This is a 3 broke guys angle. And Jimmy Turner loves to train his turf horses on the turf, which you obviously see in this spot. 2 for 3 lifetime. And again, he had a chance to run in this spot, or he was actually entered against Analyze It, Catholic Boy, and Untamed Domain in the Pennine Ridge at Belmont. It's really funny. This race did not, to me, come up as tough as that race. And it's obviously for $500K. Like I said, I'm going to disregard the Palm Beach. I'm going to think that this horse was better. At a mile and at a mile and a 16th last time at Aqueduct. Horse seems to be getting better. The figures are getting better, but I can say that about a few in this race. I just like the price. I'll take 5-1. Manny Franco comes down to ride. He was on way early last time, but actually he is going to be on Hawkish this time. So again, I'm going to take a little bit of a price, but I can't I can't throw out the 4 Therapist. Another horse. Again, like I said, I went back and I watched the Palm Beach, and the one excuse I can have for the 4 is that I think maybe the fact that the horse was fresh, he was a little bit closer to the pace than he usually is in that first time out at Gulfstream. He ran okay to finish 3rd. He kind of really wasn't in contention, made a little bit of a move late just to get up for 3rd money. But the last race in the Cutler Bay was much better at Gulfstream. Christophe Clement, 4 for 5 lifetime. Again, horse will be fresh, but I'm guessing this time they're going to decide, we're going to wrangle him back regardless. We're not going to let him be as close to the pace as he was in that last for the first time out this year, because it's not quite as long of a layoff. This one's a little bit shorter. So the 4 is on my ticket. I'm also going to use, it's funny, I'm going Keno Machine here. I'm going to use the 2 also, unencumbered. And this is an angle I'm going to use. I saw Ray using earlier, and I'm looking at the speed figures of this horse, and the speed figures of this horse were run at 2 years old. And if the horse, I'm looking at the speed figures, and yeah, but the horse's speed figures are nowhere near what the others have run in the race. But you got to remember, a lot of these horses ran similar figures at 2. So the other horses, their speed figures are better because they've run at 3 before. So I'm thinking the 2 horse can improve this, with the time off, the Ship East. Obviously, he's been running in grade 1s. He got beat pretty soundly in the Breeders' Cup turf. Forget the front runner. It was on dirt. The dirt's not really his surface. The Del Mar, obviously the Del Mar Juvenile was a much better race. Obviously, he beat my boy Jack a couple of times out in Southern California. And Mario Gutierrez comes all the way from California. And I don't remember seeing his name anywhere else in the entries. And I kind of like when it shows me that the jockey's here to ride this horse. And obviously he thinks there's some promise in this horse. Maybe it's because he rides for Redham Racing First Call. Maybe that's why he's here. But I'm gonna say maybe it's because the horse has some potential. So I'm gonna use the 2, and I can't throw out the 3 as well. I had him on Kentucky Derby Day in the American turf at 8-1 that day. He finished off. Actually, he didn't start or finish anything, but I bet him substantially to win. And I had him at 8-1 that day. That was the 3rd. He was the 3rd off the layoff for Todd Pletcher, when he does really well on turf. Again, this is a horse who's been running once a month for the last 3 months. And again, horses are horses. They're physical beings. They're not machines, and they're not going to always throw out a good performance. See the performance 2 races back. To me, sometimes I think he's kind of an in and outer. But Johnny V's up. Pletcher's obviously there. Obviously a $500,000 race, and he happened to avoid Analyze It and the other Catholic Boy and Untamed Domain in New York. So I can't not put him in on a ticket. Again, if Ray's Warrior wins and Get Strummy wins, I want to make sure I have the favorite. And I would take Murat at 5-2 if that were the case. So I went 4 deep, 6, 4, 2, and 3 in that order in the Penn Mile. This is a really difficult race, Ray, and I kind of want to know what your opinion is.
Yeah, I'm on just with you. It's a very tough race. I'm 5 deep out of 8. But I guess some of your horses. My top choice is Murat, number 3. He ran a tremendous race in American turf at Churchill. We had him. Yes, we did. Thank you. Yay. Right back again with Johnny V for Pletcher. He's an honest horse. But yeah, he might have some quirks here and there. Yeah. I think he's back on his game, and he'll improve here. He'll be on the ticket, and let's see if he can put two together. I mean, he did earlier this year. So, like I said, I think the last show I said maybe that transfer to turf he just didn't like in Cayman. So, maybe he just that was his clunker for the year. So we hope that he can keep going on. I do like 6 Hawkish. He's improving for Jimmy Toner. He gets Manuel Franco. He's 2 for 3. He was cross-centered in the Prime Ridge, but you know what? Drive 3 hours is a better spot. And besides, Catholic Boy is their horse also, so they don't want to run against him. So yeah, he had a choice. So he says, you know what, let's split them and go the other way. Yeah, because I did see an interview on TV on the NYRA show during the week. Um, Basically, he's gonna be tough here. Hawkish. He's improving, and that's what I like to see too. These 3-year-olds. So 5-1 is a good price too. Number 4, therapist. You mentioned him. 4 for 5. He's been freshened for this after a good Gulfstream meet. Third in Palm Beach. Yeah, it wasn't his day. It happens. So he's a good horse. He's gonna be competitive here. A lot of these horses, they're gonna. This is gonna be one of those. I think it's gonna be one of those.
Hello?
Nose to nose to nose at the wire. So I do like number 5 way early, 10-1. He ran a good second in Aqueduct optional claiming, and he should improve. Separation off the layoff. George Weaver, good long shot trainer, 10-1. He's here. He ran decent in the Award 6 last year, which is a good race for the 2-year-olds at Belmont. And I think they won that somewhere around Jockey Club. No, later, yeah, in October. Anyways, first time LASIX, so that's important for us. He's getting LASIX for the first time. Kenny Camus, not too much of a turfer jockey, but he should be able to get this horse, give him a good trip. At 10-1, I took a chance. Number 1, Colts in Mississippi. He a good race to the Aqueduct Turf Sprint coming this year in April. First time on turf, so he was off the Triple Crown Trail. I think he was earlier. And Pledge says Africa, he came in against these horses, and let's try something different. Shorten him up, and he ran good at turf. I tell you, he was closing, and Pledge is Pledge, so he's just gonna try and go. He takes his horses, he finds out what his strengths are, and this might be his strength. Mile turf. So for 500,000, he's willing to take a chance. He's got a lot of horses, so this is where he puts his horse for the turf. And I'm not like you said crazy about Rosario on the turf and riding for Pletcher, but all the jockeys are taking. So, but he's okay. He's okay. He can give him a good trip. But it's Pletcher and 8-1. I'll take that price. Just to be able to take it, you never know. So 3, 6, 4, 5, 1. Zoom. The machine up. Rich.
Oh boy. Here we go. Well, for those of you who are keeping track at home, Joe went 4 deep in this race, and then Ray went 5 deep in this race. And unfortunately, I'm also 4 deep in this race. And to show you how bad it is, I've actually got one horse that Ray and Joe didn't even cover yet, and that's the one you're looking at on the screen. So I also like, in addition to the 3, the 4, and the 6, my top pick is the 3. So I did Todd Pletcher, John Velasquez. I've learned my lessons throughout the year. And this was our pick in the American Turf. He was 8-1. It really would have been a nice pick 4 score had Funny Duck not showed up that day. With Murat to start off that way. But he's won 3 of his last 4. He's got one of the best trainers in the country. He's got one of the best riders in the country. They're 37% when they hook up together. So I wasn't about to leave Murat off my ticket, and he is my top pick here. But the only pick that you haven't heard about so far would be he's bankable. That's Mark Cassie and Tyler Gaffleone. I've already told you that Tyler's one of my favorite riders. In his last 4, he's got 3 wins, and 2 of those are in lower class stakes races. 1 at Tampa, 1 at Gulfstream Park. He's bankable, has speed. I actually think he could actually sit a trip and stalk this type. He has shown the feel of a need a lead type, but he's very quick. And with Gaffleone and Cassie, I thought he was worth a trip. So I've got my ticket here with the 3, the 4, the 6, and the 8. I believe Joe went with the 6, the 4, the 2, and the 3. And Ray went with the 3, the 6, the 4, the 5, and the 1. And I'm going to need an abacus to figure out our pick 4 ticket for that race.
To be honest, Rich, it's funny. If I based on scratches, the 8 looked to me to be lone speed. Like I said, I just wasn't sure I could really go that deep. But if I can, and somebody scratches off my ticket, I would definitely add him. No question about it.
Yeah,
it was. He's definitely a threat. No ifs, ands, or buts from me.
All right. And we will move along now to our next segment. We're going to go ahead and put our pick 4 ticket together. And I will go ahead and fill that in for you guys.
Hey Ray, did you get a chance to look up the weather for New York for a week from now?
Yeah, I have it here. Let's see.
We're trying. We're hoping
And
for
you know
one
what?
of the triple
Tomorrow,
crown.
I think tomorrow, man, that'd be too bad.
I'm
I
not
saw
worried about
Grantville. They said like a 30%, but over there, it doesn't rain too hard. It just,
I'm
but
talking about
no,
Belmont.
no. I'm looking up that. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
I don't care about tomorrow nearly as much.
yeah, true. Okay, here we go. Oh, nice. I see from Wednesday until Saturday. I see sun, partly sunny, and we're gonna have 74 degrees from Friday, Saturday, both days 74. So look, dry track,
Well,
fast, no rain. I don't see no rain. The last rain we're gonna have here is Tuesday, so everything will dry up. So
let's
we're gonna have a nice fast track. They're gonna cement that track. They're gonna take that track and pat it down, and we're gonna have a 224 and 1.
Yeah.
I'm taking action on that. Go ahead.
Yeah,
whatever you want.
Over.
If you're telling me that you're going to break their track record in the Belmont.
No, not break track record. Come a tick with a tick short of it.
Whatever you want. I'll take all the action you want on that.
Now my bet would be 228 and 4.
Yeah, I'm not worried about final time.
What about him across the line?
Yeah, they don't pay if Justify wins in faster than certain time. You pay him if he wins. That's all that matters. Oh, and Ray, it's your job to get us souvenir tickets.
Okay.
You did it for American Pharaoh. You can do it for Justify.
$2 to win. Sure, I'll be there.
We're apparently one of the 80,000 people that have those tickets. I was reading an article about that.
Is it 80,000?
There's 80,000 uncashed tickets from that race.
Oh yeah.
American Pharaoh race.
I think I bought 5 of them. Yeah, to give out. I mean, I got.
Assuming you still have one.
2 of them. Yeah.
Dude, mine's framed. I've got the program and everything else.
I have it in my house somewhere. I don't.
Mine's all framed in that little shrine that I have with the bobblehead dolls.
I will be there. I probably will get there for. I'm trying to get there for early races.
Okay. As long as you make it there.
I'm gonna get there. I have to walk.
I'm not sure what race that'll be. 12.
If I have to walk from Jamaica, I will. No worries. I've been training to walk.
I've been training to walk.
I'm not sure if you're training to walk. I thought it came natural since you were like 10 months old.
No, walk a distance.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm gonna be parking way far because the time I get there. Although I'm trying to make arrangements so I could get there early.
Nah, man.
Last time I was there at 8:30. It was a long distance.
I'd walk to the Uber stand. That's about.
Actually, I was so early last time for Malcolm, I was there so early. I mean, I chose not to be in the front because the front is a madhouse. I had a nice spot right by the big screen where the paddock is.
I remember. Yeah.
And I had a good spot. I mean, I didn't see a race live, but you know what? I mean, if I'm in the front, I ain't see nothing because I'm 5'3". So I had a good spot in the big screen, and I saw the paddock, so I got to see some horses in the paddock right there. So
in platform shoes.
No.
5'3" in platform shoes, man.
Yeah. Actually, I snuck in a step stool.
Yeah, there you go.
But that was someday, so I hope to do it again. And
I remember.
Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see if he wins.
Yeah.
There apparently is some debate. So.
Oh
yeah.
And I'm sure we'll be covering that race next Friday.
I think that's right. I think that can sneak its way onto our schedule.
Even if it's not in the pick 4. Yeah, right.
Belmont race 2.
Well, you know what? My guess is they're gonna have 13 races. They'll probably have 3 or 4 pick fours anyway. So we'll just do whichever one it's in.
Yeah.
But
now I'm sure they'll have the Manhattan.
Yeah, I would think the Manhattan. Usually it's the Manhattan right before it.
Race before, and then,
the Met Mile might be.
The Met Mile could be
just
in there.
The game might be. But they're gonna have like 7 or 8 grade ones. So the Acorn could be in it as any number. Wow, Rich,
I know they're trying to take out horses, the races that have odds on favorites in those races, those picks for. So they try to move them to non-pick races.
But the problem is they're going to have probably 3 pick fours anyway. So there really isn't.
Yeah.
I mean, Justify seems to be the only horse who's going to be odds on that day anyway.
True. Yeah.
So, at least of all the probables I've seen. So that's a backloaded ticket.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, no, I went the other way today at Santa Anita, and I paid the price. So yeah, I took
two.
Yeah, 2 in the first leg, and the 8 and the 6. So the 8 that's Ray. That's your top pick. That's also Joe's top pick, and then the 6 is my top pick. And that leaves Ray's the 4. The third one there is off. I got the 4 and the 1 in the second leg. Again, Ray, the 4 is your top pick, and the 1 is me and Joe's top pick. And then in leg number 3, let's see.
56, I think.
The 12 is your top pick. The 10 is Joe's top pick, and the 3 is my top pick. So those 3 altogether. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you got 2 12s in there.
I doubled up in there. Hang on.
Okay, cool. That makes it 42.
Okay. So the 10, the 12, and the 3, right? Those are 3. Those are all 3 top picks in that race. And then in the last race, I just used every single pick I heard or saw that we had that was in there, it looks like. So, Ray, you've got the 1 that's in there. Joe, you've got the 2. Ray, the 3, I think, is your top pick in there. The 3 is also my top pick, incidentally, in that last race. Joe, the top pick is yours, the 6. You've got the 4 in there. Ray, you've got the 5 in there, and I've got the 8.
Well, that's everybody other than Smart Remark, who earlier in the week, I had heard that Smart Remark was actually, because he's cross-entered at Churchill Downs. My understanding was he wasn't running at Penn National anyway. So if that's the case, we would have everybody.
All right.
Okay.
So it's
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, 42. That's not bad.
4. Yeah, no, that's not bad.
All right.
I think the leg that we're probably most scared of is leg 3. But
yep, I agree. So for those of you who have played around with this before, you'll see this before that. But the top lane there is our greens, and that's the consensus pick. The red is Mr. Torado. Joe goes into the black type, and you've got me down there in the bottom in Loyal Dodger Blue. And we're going 6-8. We're going 4-1. We're going 12, 10, 3. And then we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8.
We're going deep in the last leg. You even needed a Keno machine just to get everybody.
Did you get that, Joe, before I come back?
I did like your last 6 show. I mean, Rich with the pool winner.
All righty. That's about it for us for tonight. So for those of you watching, if you enjoyed the show, we're going to be back next week because, as Joe already alluded to, that's what the 3 broke guys do. We're going to get together. We're going to take a look at another exciting card, and it's going to be the Belmont Stakes card. We're going to all watch Justify win the Triple Crown. All right, gentlemen, that's all the time we have for tonight. It is always a pleasure to handicap with the 2 of you.
Yes, it is. Always a pleasure.
Friday night.
For Joe English and Ray Torado, I'm Rich Sharp. Thank you for watching 3 Broke Guys Handicapping. Good luck and good night.
Good night.